So here comes this train. Now it's only well, Jesus, that's the longest train I've ever seen in my entire life. You ever seen one this big?
Actually, before he went there, it was only the black one. Then he got hooked up with those two.
Oh, is that what he did?
Yeah. That's the guy, 5070. I remember the number.
Okay, so this guy had to blow the hell out of his horn because people on that road over there, they don't know what a train can do to them. I can imagine. Okay, so it's kind of strange, but there's no torque spec for this bolt here, and it is a I think this should be torqued, to be quite honest with you, and I don't know whether this is proper or not. I don't really care, but I can't get it. I can't seem to get it bound correctly. Let's say we do this, okay? I'm going to run a torque wrench on it to 120 pounds, foot-pounds of torque, just because it's a smart. Oh man. Okay. It's actually tighter than that, just through the impact gun. Okay, so we're going to talk, or I'm going to talk about this dampener pulley. John Deere 4010s, 4020s, all the John Deere tractors have dampener pulleys. If you don't know what a dampener pulley does, it is actually on rubber. In between here, there's rubber. You can see that between the mount, and it is timed here and here because this is balanced. Okay, they call them balancers, dampener pulleys, whatever you want to call them. I just call it a dampener pulley. So that has to be timed when they manufacture it so that it is correct with the engine. You cannot run this engine without that. If you run the engine without, you risk breaking the crankshaft. The crankshaft produces a harmonic or a they also call those harmonic balancers, but it creates a harmonic or a vibration within the crankshaft from it firing, and what that will do will actually shear or break your crankshaft. So they put this dampener on there to take that shock out of the crankshaft, and works pretty well. It's on most of the tractors. I don't know if the two-cylinder Deeres, yeah, the two-cylinder Deeres have a balancer, but I don't think they have a I know they don't have the rubber-mounted harmonic balancer like this one is. You are supposed to change those on all your tractors at about 5,000 hours. And if I can find it here, it's probably got thrown away already. What happens with that, because of the, yeah, it must have got chucked out on the scrap heap. What happens is this rubber, because it's constantly being vibrated on, you know, that's constantly taking the harmonic out of the crankshaft, that rubber actually wears out, and it will start to get out of balance. It will start to wobble, and the rubber will break away, and then it fails to do its job. When it fails to do its job, that's when you start having problems. It'll even pound Babbitt out of bearings, or you can even spin a bearing from that if it doesn't break your crankshaft. It just causes a whole bunch of problems. So it's easier and cheaper to replace this than it is to replace or rebuild an engine because you did something stupid by not fixing that. And I've seen it even in the 4960. I didn't replace it right away when I rebuilt the engine or rebuilt the tractor, and the pulley actually started to slide away from the mount. But I got company coming in, so I'm going to have to get back to you in a little bit. Okay, good morning and welcome to the end of this video. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to let everybody know that this engine is not actually running right now. At least not yet. I have not started it up. I think I'm going to start it live on Instagram. So if you see that Instagram notice, stay tuned. You know, if you see that notice, go look, because that's more than likely what it's going to be. And it's coming. It may even be yet today. Yes, today, the 2nd of February, Groundhog Day. I don't think the groundhog saw a shadow, or maybe the groundhog did see a shadow. I have no idea. But anyways, it snowed last night, so maybe he didn't. But anyway, The sun was shining a little bit, though. I bet he saw his shadow, and it just seems like it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. But anyways, what I'd like to talk about is another YouTuber. I've been watching him now for about 8 months. His YouTube channel is Lord Muck. If you don't know who Lord Muck is, that is capital L-O-R-D, space, capital M-M-U-C-K. He's a variety channel, a lot like mine, only he's a lot cleaner. You know, I mean, I have a bit of a foul mouth, but, you know, and I've been trying to clean that up just for monetization purposes, and he's a really interesting dude. I mean, this guy, you don't know whether he's going to be flying around in a P-51 Mustang, working on a John Deere tractor, digging trenches, draining forests, which here in the United States we all know that that's jail time without the proper permits. Maybe it is too in England, but he's an English guy. I've watched just about every one of his videos that he's posted, and actually I'm going back and watching some of the earlier ones. He goes to the World War II beaches in France where they invaded France, Omaha, Juneau, what is it, Green, and what the heck is the other one, Utah, and all these beaches that he visits and shows how the battles actually took place. And I find that very interesting because I just love World War II history. I'm going to have to go to France and stop at these beaches because I've always kind of really wanted to go. I've just never had the chance to do it. And I've been to the Philippines and I've seen those. As you know, here in February, I'm going to go to the site where they dropped the atomic bombs. First, I'm going to Hiroshima, and then I'm going to go to Nagasaki. Hopefully, I get to Nagasaki. It depends on how many hours of driving I have to do. And I'm an American, so I drive on the right side of the road. And if if you ever know anything about Japan, they actually drive on the left side of the road, or if you're in England, the proper side of the road, which I love that. That's kind of funny. But anyways, I've yammered on for 3 minutes now, so just go check out Lord Muck. I'm going to try and put a link here someplace at the bottom, and go check his channel out and subscribe to it because he's got some really good stuff. He also has done several collaboration videos with George Saunders, so if you're a fan of George Saunders, go check out Lord Muck. If you're a fan of Dino0303, go check out his channel too. From there, Kurt's a really interesting fella, and hope one day to meet up with all those guys again. At least meet up with George again, and John. John the Legend. I'd like to see him again. He was a really neat guy, and I'd like to meet Kurt and Ben, and we could all, do a collaboration video. The American and the Brits, get all together. It'd be awesome. So that could be something that we could do in the future. But anyways, don't forget, go check him out.